Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bad Ass Us. That's right, that's who we are, Bad Ass Us, here on Vision and Purpose Media Production. And today we have another good one for you, as always. We're talking about family matter, health and wellness. Your family matters, and we're going to be talking about it. Yes, we have Mr. Lee back in the studio, and this is Lee's Happy Hour. Because who are we? We are Bad Ass Us. That's right, that's who we are. We are women, beautiful, accomplished, and divine. Our gentlemen, our brothers, accomplished and determined. Yet, as society see us, we must still change the narrative. Yes, that's right. That's who we are. Badass us here on Vision and Purpose Media Productions. We be right back at you. See you on the other side. Badass us. Yeah, that's right. That's who we are. Badass us. What? Who are we? We are women. Beautiful, accomplished, and divine. That's right. Badass us. Yeah. Who are we? We are gentlemen. Are our brothers accomplished and determined? Yet, as society see us, we must still change the narrative. Yeah, that's right. Who are we? The black community. Remember us? We are accomplished. We are determined. We are divine. We are of greatness. That's right. The black community. Badass us. Who are we? That's right. Who am I? I am the person committed to building the next community movement. What about you? Hello, everyone. We are back. Welcome to Badass Us, that is better known for Mr. Lee's Happy Hour. This is the fourth Tuesday of the month, and every fourth Tuesday of the month is Lee's Happy Hour. So, without further ado, drum roll, bring it to you, Mr. Lee's Happy Hour.
Thank you, Karen. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Lee, and I'd like to welcome you to Lee's Happy Hour. And for the benefit of those that might be, this is your first time with me, I want you to know that I'm happy to be able to bring you conversation and information that might make a difference in your life or the life of someone you know and or care about. So what we do here at Badass is we talk about the things that are important to us
Yes.
in a way in which you can benefit. And doesn't necessarily mean you always agree. What it does mean is that if you're open to what we're talking about, at least we got you engaged in the conversation. And tonight I wanted to talk about this idea of communication. What exactly does that mean? And how many forms are they? And how is it if I speak English and you understand English, how could we have misunderstanding? What,
I love that. I love it. I see where you're going with this.
yeah, what is I don't get it. Well, I really do get it, and that's what I want us to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not in no way, shape, or form trying to be an expert. I'm trying to be helpful. I'm trying to be helpful to you because you've taken your time to join us. And we're going to kind of walk you through, or we're going to talk about the things that we think might help you kind of tinker with it and think about it in a different kind of way. So, this idea of verbal and nonverbal, listening versus talking, all these basic elements that everybody is born with. Well, with the exception of the deaf community, but everybody's born with the idea of if I say it and you hear it, then how come it gets messed up? So let's start with that, Karen. Let me thank you first, as always, for her letting me be a part of Badass, because she didn't have to. but her and I used to hang out before Baad Ass,
Yeah, yeah, we
and
did.
we were like this,
And we still are.
and we still are.
Yes, 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 yes. We, matter of fact, let's give a shout out to Cleveland real quick. It was we was at the Flow.
Yes,
Yes, yeah,
right.
Rock the Flow. It was all this audio internet radio show,
Hmm.
and I came on. Our show was right after yours. You was
Right,
before us, and just always fell in love with you, Mr. Lee. You had that nice old vibe, and
right.
a lovely day. I never forget that. That was your theme song, and
Yes.
that was one of my favorite songs coming up as a kid. My mom used to love that song. So when we came in the studio doing our broadcast, we had to make sure we played "Lovely Day."
All right.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
And so, and how it goes, since we are our friends, and it's Mr. Lee's happy hour. We gotta do as Mr. Lee do.
Uh-oh. Here it come, y'all.
Yeah,
Dun, dun,
let,
dun,
let me
dun.
rock a hat tonight. Yeah, you see that? Okay, bam. There I go. Mr. Lee is looking
All
good.
right.
And I gotta have it, AC Deucey, cocked to
Yeah.
the side a
Yeah,
little
Ace
bit,
do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So then, what was the question? Cause I'm so up in the vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So
so let's start with the very fundamental idea
okay.
of what we think communication is. And initially, it's talking and listening. So if I'm talking to you and you're listening to me,
Yeah.
how in fact do we have miscommunication? What do you think, Kay? Let me start with asking you to work with that.
Okay. So if I'm talking and if you talking and I'm listening, how do we have miscommunication?
Yes.
Because I think sometimes it's in the interpretation. I may perceive it or interpret it one way, but you actually said it another way and you meant it. So sometimes it's even though you're talking and you're saying we say how no, it's sometimes in your tone, your body language, your approach. That how the person will receive what you're saying. So
Okay.
because for example. You can be like, "Hello, Karen. You're looking very nice today," and I'm taking that as a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go, "Hello. Yeah, you look real nice today." Now you said the same thing, but see the difference in the tone and the body language mean a different thing. So that way, I may not like you saying that to me that way. So so I think sometimes it's in the tone. That's why if I'm not getting all top subject with you, that's why I don't believe in communicating through text. After a couple of casualties, hello, okay, are we on time? Are we on point? That need to be it because when you start conversating through text, I'm going to take it and I may read the text and perceive it another way, and you probably didn't even mean all that. So
Okay.
but sometimes if we talking to one another, I can pick up your vibe. I can see the tone in your voice. I can hear the tone in your voice. I can see your body language. So that kind of yeah. What you think
Okay.
about that?
Well, again, it's all part of, well, I'm not sure. A text is a written, silent way of communicating.
Mhm.
So if I text you and say,
Go ahead.
the way that you put it, you look very nice today, Karen. If I text you and say that, then you would read that and think, oh, Mr. Lee thinks I look very nice. But if I call
Mhm.
with this tone and this vibe,
Yeah. Uh huh.
then you would interpret it a different way.
Yeah. You definitely you can pick up in the tone when you're face to face with someone. That's why I was just saying
But
now.
wait a minute, baby,
Yeah.
we're not face to face if I'm calling you.
Well, or if we on the phone, then
Okay.
you can hear the tone in the person's voice.
Okay, you keep talking
Yeah.
about the vibe. I want you to
Mhm.
talk a little bit about nonverbal communication.
Okay. So.
Nonverbal. Now, you're not hearing anything, but
Mhm.
what are you getting from how I'm doing whatever it is that make you think I'm what? I don't know.
Yeah.
What's
So
nonverbal?
okay, so yeah, so let's talk about the nonverbal communication because sometimes the nonverbal communication can speak more than the verbal. You know that, right?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay, so because I'm gonna throw a little twist in the game, that.
Okay,
So
come on with it.
yeah, the nonverbal is sometimes can be you can say more because I know I was raised on my mom always used to say. it's what you're not saying that's telling me everything.
Go, mama.
Telling me everything I need to know. So then you are going on somebody's body language, their expression, their demeanor, because I can tell just by looking at my mom. She don't have to say it. Is she upset that we did something, that she upset? I can look at your body language, tell if you're happy. I can look at your body language to see if something is wrong with you, something bothering you, you're not feeling your best or something like that. You can. So the nonverbal communication is just important as the verbal communication, because sometimes just because someone is not saying nothing, you got to still know how to communicate.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the idea is when you say you still got to know, so how does that happen? How do you still got to know? How do you get to know verbal, nonverbal? How do you get to know that? How do
Uh,
you get to read? What has your life experience been like for you to read my body language?
so what have my life experience been like to
Yeah,
read body language?
like when the guys are hitting on you.
Yeah, yeah. So now if you're talking about that, if they body language is definitely it's the eyeballing. The eyeballing thing that we can do when and that can be offensive. You can your eyes. Because they say your eyes is the soul to
The
the
window to the
window
soul.
soul. Right. So and it is because your eyes even can say things. Like if you're talking about that instance of the way you look at me, you can be, oh, Karen, you look nice today. Then that can be a compliment. But if you're like, with your eyes, can get offended,
Okay.
because you stern. Because I had one guy, I'm like, can you talk to me right here and not here?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
yeah.
So nonverbal,
Mhm.
it's a matter of interpretation. It's
Mhm.
how you interpret it.
Mhm.
But I find you attractive.
Mhm.
So that's what my eyes are saying. I find you attractive. Now, how do you turn that into being offensive if I find you attractive?
It's like, again, it's the way that you look. It's the way that you can look at someone and find them attractive. Like, I think you are a very handsome gentleman, and then once you tell people your age, you be like, what? You look very good. You look. I mean, come on, Mr. Lee.
Don't
I'm gonna grow up
don't
and be
pay
like
nothing to the
you.
age part.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna grow up and be like you. So I'm telling you, fit, you're handsome, you dress real nice. I mean, you got me rocking the hats just because I know every time you come to this studio, you're gonna be put together.
All right.
You know what I'm
Thank you.
saying? So, and see, I just said it, and I'm looking at you,
Right.
but you're not offended. So now, if I be, if I'm like, yeah, yeah, look at him, he maybe that can be a little too much.
Okay.
That's borderline, because
Okay.
I respect you as my elder. I respect you as like a father figure. So I'm not gonna cross them lines. And your daughter is not gonna come up here and beat me up, and your wife ain't coming up here and beat me up. So I just messing. They wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying, we respect each other, and we always have,
Right.
because we've been knowing each other, like we said now, for at least about 10 years. Yeah,
Minimum.
because
Yeah.
10, 11
Yeah.
years, because I've been doing this now about 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
So we've been knowing each other that long. And we
Okay.
always had that respect for each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the communication always been great.
Yes. All right.
So
Now,
don't ruin it.
how do you let's go back to your concern about texting,
Yes.
because it's all a matter of perception.
Yes.
All right,
Yes, yeah.
whatever
That's
it
true.
might be. I almost text you this evening to say that I'm running late.
Okay.
All right, I left home. I think it was 4:40,
Mm-hmm.
and it took 2 hours to get here.
Mm.
The traffic was just miserable, and I
Mm-hmm.
kept trying to go different ways, and I was beginning to panic.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of communication. Back to your point about how you doing emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're upset, then you can read or misinterpret based on the fact that you're upset. The
Right.
message is clear, but I'm not clear.
Right.
All right?
Right.
Right. Okay. All right. So the idea of how do you work through these things? Because every day people are making mistakes based on how they interpret or misunderstand verbal communication. See, because you are listening faster than I can talk. And that's one of the basic problems that most people don't know how to listen, don't know how to pay attention to. So if you can listen faster than I can talk, then you're not only listening to me, but you're reading, thinking about something else, that sort of thing, preparing to respond. All of that creates this idea of, I'm sorry, what did you say? I say, I don't, what? Those kinds of things happen every day. So what we want to do in terms of the family is see if we can do a better job of paying attention, of staying focused, asking for clarity. Those are the kinds of things that we don't do often enough. Say it back to me. It's one of the things I talk to my children about because I wear hearing aids. So I asked my son, you got to say it back to me, make sure at least I think I got it. And this is really interesting now that I brought it up because I didn't plan to. But people that have hearing disorders like I do, communication is really difficult because people talk normally, but I can't hear normally unless I'm close.
Right.
All right?
That's
And
part
if
of
you
reading the
turn your
lips.
head and talk, then I pretty much miss it altogether. All right? So you're wondering, well, why am I not responding? Why am I doing what you asked? But you were looking over there when you said it or walking away from me. So this is a little something for you all to be patient and understanding about those of us that have these hearing disorders. I don't wear these things for fashion. I wear them because I want to hear better. And they don't, hearing aids amplify sound, all right? They don't make me hear you any better unless I'm close enough. And that's where now I'm close enough where I can read the body language, the facial expression, and I can hear your voice well enough to be able to follow the conversation. So we still have the struggle. All right, when I'm tired, I don't pay attention as well, and that leads to misunderstanding. If I'm hungry, all
Oh,
right,
yes, definitely the hungry thing. You better watch out. That's a
yeah,
whole nother conversation.
yes, and it happens enough to where we ought to be able to backtrack and say, well, oh, I misunderstood. I'm sorry, I missed it. What did you say? And be able to ask for clarity, ask to be repeated. Those are the things that make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, most of the people that we interact with understand English. 99%. So if they understand English and you think they heard you, then what is the gap? Where does this missed stuff come from? All right, I'm hungry. I'm tired. I'm angry. Me and Gabe were talking about road rage coming over here. And I don't listen well when I'm angry behind the wheel and you done cut me off. Or I'm starting to get anxious because I think I'm going to be late. And being on time is important to you and to me and to the show. These are all the elements that are worth looking at. And I don't just mean, but really kind of look at your life, look at the parts of it, the work part, the family part, the TV part, how you're not communicating effectively. So, what is effective communication, Karen? What do you think that is?
So for me, effective communication is when two people can have a conversation, and you're understanding and able to and able to carry a conversation. Your dialect, you we like now.
Okay,
Uh, we having effective communication.
okay,
Even though we giving our different point of views,
right,
I'm able to hear and understand you well, and you're able to hear me and understand me well.
right.
So it's effective. It's we're being effective in what we're saying. Because one thing, we're listening and paying attention to one another.
There you go.
So and that's my mother say, not only listen, but I need you to pay attention. Listen and pay attention.
Right.
So, be attentive in your listening. So, and I think that allow you to have effective communication, because effective communication don't mean that we always have to agree on
Right.
what
Yes.
on the subject matter that we are talking about, but we're being effective of allowing each other to have their time and their point of view. We're not cutting each other off.
Right. Oh, up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. When I'm angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our tone is, is pleasing to be heard and pleasing to the ear, so, and that makes it all effective communication.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's as casually as we are talking about it, effective communication requires a lot of work. You really have to be attentive. You really have to want to be effective. You just can't say the words and call that effective.
Yes.
So we are asking that you stay with us, give some thought to what you've heard so far, ask yourself how much, if any of it, just might give you a different way of how you interact verbally, non-verbally, all right? In today's society, we're doing this. Me and Gabe talk about it all the time. Look, Daddy go texting.
Yeah.
And driving.
Yeah.
Driving and texting,
Yes,
driving and
yes,
texting.
yes.
Steering wheel in one hand, phone in the other, and ain't paying attention to where you're going. All right, nonverbal, because somehow or another, some kind of way, somebody has made having to be on the phone all the time a critical part of life.
Yes, because that's what I say. I don't need to be that accessible all the time.
Yeah.
This little device right here, this little gadget can really get us in trouble. Now, at one point I was like, but if I leave that phone at home, I would be late. And it's almost like that. We rather be late and turn around and go back and get it than to go on with our day. And for me, it's more so because I have no sense of direction. So if I get lost, I just feel comfortable knowing I got my phone, because I can use the GPS and I can call out for help. So, but other than that, no, when people say I just email you, can you check it through your phone? I'm like, no. I wait till I get on a computer. Certain things you're not going to make me do this device on every little thing. I don't want to be that accessible. How about that, Mr. Lee?
That's effective communication.
Yes.
Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back.
Key that you mind your mental health.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing this week?
Hi.
Use the 5 keys to mental
Well, this week
movement.
has been a really monumental week for me. I realized that I was not being myself.
Reaching out.
Be positive attitude person self, like you guys know me to be. I was
Staying
listening to
upbeat.
teaching and get back to that happy, cheery self you guys of me.
This week's been kind of
Being
stressful.
creative.
All of the workload that we have on online learning. So I've been trying to use different platforms and different websites to help ease my mind and ease my stress.
And what about you, Margaret?
Well, you guys know me. I just love to work with others and serve them.
Serving others.
Realize that when I serve others, my mind is off of myself.
That's right. And don't forget, self-care is key.
Self-care.
All right. So see you guys next week.
Right.
Bye.
Your mind matters.
Welcome back to Lee's Happy Hour, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that are just joining us, my name is Lee Manley, and I am your host. I'm joined this evening, as always, Kyan Jones, been kind enough to let me be a part of Baad Ass Productions. And today, family health. Does communication have anything